Hello, this is Steve, your YouTube English teacher, with our final reading video. Oh, the crowd is disappointed, no more reading. Of course, we have to practice some reading, but we're really focusing on techniques for reading. What does it mean when they say you should read better? Well, one technique we're going to look at today is scanning. Scanning means reading quickly, searching for a specific detail. Obviously, this is useful for reading exams because they're going to ask you about specific details, particularly in the last part of the reading, C1 Part 8, B2 Part 7, where you have different texts and questions saying which text talks about this, where you'll need to scan that text until you find that question, and then you've got the answer. My previous tips still apply. My great technique for this part of the exam, in which you underline 3 or 4 key ideas in each text that you think might then be one of the questions, and this helps you remember them and understand the text. You should still be doing that. But then you're going to use your scanning skills once you've got the question in mind to go over the text and find the answer. So let's have a look at it. We have got a C1 Reading Part 8 here about the mysteries of dolphin communication. I'm only giving you 2 of the text because this is our little practice activity. And one question. The question is, in which section, A or B, 50-50, you could just guess now, in which section is a comparison between dolphins and unknown entities mentioned? So to answer this question, you are going to be reading, thinking about your key ideas. So first thing is, let's do it properly. Let's read the 2 texts and think of key ideas. Here we've got the fact that we're interested in how dolphins think. She instructed these dolphins to do something. The camera captured them behaving like this, and they're showing intelligence. They're discussing a plan, key ideas there. And in B, we are looking for a comparison. Well, do the same for B, do it yourself, I'm not going to do it. And then think about the fact that we are looking for a comparison between dolphins and unknown entities. And unknown entities is the part that stands out for me. Is it in A or B? Scan these texts until you find something that fits this idea of unknown entities, unknown creatures, things. It wasn't in A, was it? Because we read it and we got these key ideas and there's nothing about unknown entities. But in B, right at the end, we talk about extraterrestrials, aliens. They are unknown entities. And we're saying that they're a kind of alien intelligence, and it's the closest we get to it. So we're comparing them to aliens, saying we don't have aliens, but we have something similar, dolphins. So the answer to that is B. And you found it simply by reading it until something in your brain clicked when you saw something that was very similar to unknown entities. And that is scanning. And that is how you do B2 Reading Part 7, C1 Reading Part 8. Go and do it. In the description, you have the complete 4 texts and the 10 questions, which probably barely fit on the screen because it's a long exam, as you know. So in the description, go and do it. Come back when you've done it, using these summarizing skills to underline key ideas, to get the key ideas for each text. And then importantly, scanning. When you see question 1, I'm looking for something about frustration. I read through until something clicks when I read something about frustration. Here come the answers, because you have gone away and you have spent 10 minutes of your valuable time in your precious lives doing that. Number 1, the answer is C. Scientists have voiced exasperation. Well, exasperation means you are frustrated, so 1 is C. Number 2, we already did, that was B, the extraterrestrials. Number 3, a flaw in the way they're studied. This one is a bit tough, but we are talking about what is intelligence. What we're measuring is not what we should be looking at. So they're asking the wrong questions. So it's D. Number 4, parental behavior. This was in C. They discipline their young, meaning their children, their next generation. So it's 4C. Number 5, their changeable behavior. This was in D, wasn't it? They can be friends one day and foes the next. Foes meaning enemies. And from context, if you're friends one day and something else the next, something else, it means a different thing. So that was D. Number 6, the technology. This was about algorithms, which you all know about on YouTube. Number 7, features they once shared in the past. This was about their evolution, how they used to be wolf-like creatures. Well, creatures with wolf-like teeth. Number 8, this was the toughest question, and the answer is indeed C. because the analogy is the blind alley. One of two possible outcomes. It could be this or it could be this. And the blind alley meaning if you go down a blind alley, it means you're going somewhere where there's no point going. You're going the wrong way. You've made a mistake. Science is going the wrong way and it doesn't make any sense. And that's an analogy. Obviously, I first thought A as well, either this or this. But these are not analogies, so it doesn't work. We need an analogy, which is a blind alley. Number 9, that is A. It's about the rolling over and flapping their tails. That's movements. And number 10, understanding in an innate way. That was B, wasn't it? We're talking about apes. We understand them because they're like us. We understand them without having to work on it. It's innate, so B. So 10 marks for your reading. Hopefully you have scanned those texts to find the key points that I have highlighted there, because that is the reason that these are the answers. And that is how you get the answers correct, apart from just guessing. I hope that was useful. Now, we can also use our scanning skills somewhat for use of English. I've got a use of English part 3 exam here at a C1 level. And without really reading it, just by scanning it and looking at the key words before and after each gap, I can answer questions 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. Can you do the same? Don't worry what it's about. Don't consider like, oh, stress. Okay, I'm thinking. No. Just look at the gaps and what comes before and after them and have a guess at it. Obviously, in the real exam, you can do this and then you can read it more carefully and make sure that the context fits and that you've got a negative and a plural and all the other things that I always teach you for part 3. But it's also good just to work on your instinct sometimes. So you've paused the video, you have answered these questions. Here come the answers. Number 1, the answer is increasingly. I know this because it's followed by a verb. So we need an adverb. And increasingly, super common use of English part 3 adverb. If I see increase, I'm straight away thinking the answer is going to be increasingly. Number 2, this time we know we need an adjective because it says how. So how good, how. And worth is just worthwhile, isn't it? Something's worthwhile. What else could it be? Worthy, trustworthy. Maybe it's C2. Number 3, something goes unnoticed. That's an expression. So as soon as I saw gone, I said, oh, it's gone unnoticed. I don't care what has gone unnoticed and where and how and who. Gone unnoticed goes together. Later, I'll check to make sure it makes sense, but I can be pretty confident after reading one word that that's the answer. Now, number 4, this one we did have to read a bit more carefully. You should probably be thinking employee, employee, or employees. But maybe it's employers or maybe it's unemployed. There's quite a lot of options, so you do have to read it a bit more carefully and say, okay, some companies offer classes to their, yes, it is employees. Number 5, the. You just need to see the. We need a noun, it's frequency. Could be infrequency, but that's unlikely. Again, read the sentence to make sure. Number 6, this one was actually quite tough. You need to look at the context to say that, okay, they are doing ballet to counteract the inactivity because now they're doing some activity. Number 7, what are they enhancing? We need a thing. It's accuracy. We know we need a thing because we saw a reduction in stress. We're listing some things. Accuracy is a thing. And finally, number 8, this one I did have to read a bit more slowly. Their sense of well-being. How has it been improved? Dramatically. We need the adverb again. So what I'm saying there is that you can go a bit quicker by scanning even the use of English to find your answers, although it's also important to read it slowly, look at the context, check it, as your teachers have always told you, me included. Right, we're going to finish with a little bit of speaking part 4 on this topic of dance and stress. You have some interesting questions there for you to try and answer in 30 seconds and record yourself and answer with a friend and answer with your teacher and practice your expression. And that's the end of the video. I hope you have learned some useful reading skills. Goodbye.